Welcome to Paranormal Triage, Pursuing the Spiritual Awakening podcast.
Every time. It never fails. Paranormal Triage here. I'm Brenda.
Hey, and I'm Ryan.
One day this whole thing will be smooth. Anyway, so.
Yeah, we just need to get a producer to do it for us so we don't have to do it.
Yeah, that's not fair. Anyway.
Yeah, so welcome to the July 19th Sunday night podcast. Everyone that's got your notifications turned on, pipe in, ask questions, engage. We got some super cool guests tonight that we're going to bring on here in a little bit that we can open it up for some questions.
Yeah. So we don't have much for housekeeping today. We still have our last Paranormal July. Let's see if I can bring this on without messing everything up. That'll be our last podcast for July. We're pretty open for new people for next month. We do have some family camping trips coming up, so it's going to be kind of quiet for us on the podcasting side. You know, otherwise our kids will kill us for not taking them camping this summer. So,
although I have a feeling we might sneak in some of our equipment since we're going to be on the coast in the redwoods, which is kind of Bigfoot territory.
Yeah, we'll see if we can.
So I don't know. We might do a little working vacation.
So that last podcast will be Breaking the Bell. So yeah, that should be pretty fun. They're a young group, and I don't know if they've been doing it for a while, but I think they're kind of new to having their social platforms. Yeah. So that'll be interesting. So that's what we have going on at the end of this month. And then, yeah, I don't think we have really any investigations coming up just because we're doing these trips this thing.
Nothing that's active coming up, but we still are working on some of the footage and evidence of Cottonwood. And then we haven't really locked down a date to go back to American Legion yet.
Yeah.
So that's in the works, but we haven't locked down an actual time.
And I'm sure some of you will say, what about Bigfoot? Yeah, we are still working on that. Bigfoot is kind of a huge undertaking. I don't think we realized when we wanted to step into that platform how difficult it was going to be. So it's not that we've forgotten about it. We're just still trying to figure out how we're going to tackle that one. So.
Yeah. And I also think that we might do a couple live podcasts in between when we actually do that, because there's a lot of kind of biblical stuff that we want to approach when it comes to Bigfoot and some of our thought process.
Yeah. So anyway, so we have some great guests on today. We've kind of got into a pattern of, we'd like to highlight smaller groups, I guess you could say. Not that they're not popular or, they may not be as well known.
It's not about showcasing the people that already have 5 million followers. It's about the people that don't, because they do some really cool things.
Yeah, and they have a lot to bring to the table when they're the least heard. So yeah, that's kind of the platform we've been running on here lately, and we kind of enjoy it. It's been pretty fun. So
yeah,
today we have a couple of friends that formed a group and have been investigating. So we're going to have them tell their story and catch us up on what they've been doing and all that good stuff. So we're going to do a little intro and then we'll bring them on.
All right.
Some say the dead should never be disturbed, that certain doors are meant to stay closed. But every haunted place holds a secret, and every spirit has a story. Two best friends travel the forgotten roads, searching for answers hidden beyond the veil. Through abandoned halls, shadowed forests, and voices in the dark, they chase the unknown. Tonight, if the spirits are listening, show yourselves. Rising number.
All right. Hey, so welcome, Crossing the
You
Veil.
got to add them in.
Oop, let's add them in.
There
Right.
you are.
So welcome. I will get this down one day. I don't know when. I think
Yeah.
this makes us more fun because people can poke fun at
We're
us
just
now.
everyday average people.
Anyway, so we have Jennifer and Destiny, correct?
Yes.
And which one's who? Because I forgot already.
Destiny.
All right.
All right. Okay, so our little intro, that's the thing that Brenda likes putting together for all of our guests. I think is super fun, but I
Yeah.
do want to give credit where credit's due because that's your guys' music.
Mhm.
And looking at some of your content, man, I thought it was pretty cool. You guys put a lot of cool music and add that kind of flair to your stuff. So that's really cool. Give you credit for that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I kind of did the music video, but Destiny, she's the brains behind the TikTok. She works all the videos. I do the evidence and look it over, but she makes the videos. So she does
Yeah,
awesome.
well, it's really cool. You don't see very many people doing that, so it's kind of nice to see people step out of their box. Like like Ryan said, I kind of do these little intros because I think it's fun. It's a lot of work. It's not like you sit down. Well, not for me. It's not like a 10-minute. I'm going to sit down and
Definitely
break
not.
this out and do it. So,
Definitely not. I think the music video that I made for the song took me 6 hours. Yeah. 6 hours. to do. So
I mean,
it-
AI is cool, but it's not that simple. I don't think, unless
Yeah.
you want to pay for all the
You s-
big apps and stuff that they
You
want.
still
Yeah.
got to put original thought process into
Mhm.
the AI generators in order to make things work. So
oh yeah.
it's still very creative, and I really like it. It's cool.
Yeah. So tell us about how you guys got started.
Well, actually, she's the one that started it. If you want me to tell it, or okay. So we've been friends for a while. We worked together, and then she left where we were working. And one day, I decided to go to the Renaissance Fair in Guthrie, and we ended up meeting back up. And she was like, "Hey, I'm going to the cemetery. We're going to do some investigation. Do you want to come along?" And I was like, "Bet." So I was like, "I'm just going to be a little guest. It'll be a one-time thing. We've been friends for a while." And I was like, "No problem." End up going, and it was phenomenal. It was so great. It was a really good night. And then she was like, "All right, so you want to do this permanently?" And I was like, "Let's go. You've got all my free time." So yeah,
But yeah, they do a big
fun.
Renaissance fair here, and I love it. And I don't go very often, but do they have the big turkey legs? Do they do that there at your
they
Renaissance fair?
do.
Yeah, those are
Every
good.
year I gotta get one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you mentioned that you'd worked together before. What kind of day jobs do you guys have?
So currently I was working at Walmart, but I'm a paraprofessional at the school that my kids go to. I work in a special education classroom, and then I'm also working at a retail store, Home Depot. So I'm a supervisor there. So it's kind of a balancing act between all of
yeah.
it. And it's fun, definitely a lot, but I make the time for everything, and then I just DoorDash.
Yeah, that's perfect. Write your own schedule. Just gotta make
DoorDashing
it
is a
happen.
lot of work. That's not an easy job. I mean, that's a lot of traveling, and
Oh yeah.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to do it.
So how do you work the paranormal into your lives? Like, how do you work your schedules around? Do you guys have specific days and times when you're like, we're going to go do this, block out time, or you just kind of do it when you can do it?
It's a little bit of both. If I have a day off and I don't have to be to work super early, because my jobs are the one at my Home Depot job, that's like an hour away. So if I don't
Oh,
have to
wow.
get up super early, then we'll go out and we'll spend till 2 or 3 in the morning investigating somewhere. Or if we have a plan, I will schedule time off. Luckily, she's just like, "Hey, let's go do this." And if I'm not busy, we go. We just jump in the car. So
Yeah, that's kind of how it works for you. You guys are from Oklahoma, right?
yes.
Oklahoma. So what
Yeah.
are some of the I don't know, I guess what are the more well-known places, and do you prefer the well-known places, or are you going to mostly just local quaint places that you know about? Because there's kind of a difference, you got the places that everybody goes to.
Like the commercial places, it'll charge you to go there, or do you just find your own little niche somewhere?
Well, we try to start off like places that are well known, but a lot of them are like, oh, we can't do it because of insurance purposes and stuff like that. So we kind of just go on to like places that are not really seen to most people, like the cemeteries. Like we find them along the side of the road, or that are like abandoned cemeteries and stuff like that, and we just go explore those. And then we get invited to places that are well known, and so
we've been invited to a couple different investigations. You guys had them on not too long ago. Into the Veil, super good friends. We just did an investigation with them and with Fear Dark Paranormal. The Say Mansion, Governor's Mansion in Kingfisher. So we put up a couple videos about that. But I'm more of I don't like to go to the bigger places. Like I want to, because I've got a bucket list of paranormal places I want to go. But the smaller places I think are probably the best for us because there's not a lot of people. We don't have a lot of contamination, and you learn a little more. I mean, we've gone to a couple cemeteries and like found family we didn't know was buried.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works out.
Oh yeah.
So if you're running around doing DoorDash, have you ever like just driven around and be like, oh, that's a place that we need to go check out?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then she'll send me a picture or she'll call me and be like, look what I found.
Yeah. Well,
that's super cool.
And we'll like the signs on the side of the road, and we'll just sit there,
cemetery.
And then we'll go check them out and see how they are.
Yep.
So yeah, we like cemeteries as well. We have gotten ourselves in a little bit of a trouble before just going to certain cemeteries because we're a Native American land, and trying to think about when we interviewed it Into the Veil what your history was, but I think yours is more.
Is it the Osage Indians over there?
Yeah, there's the Osage. You've got like the Cherokee and stuff like that. I know that the Osage is one we've been to. We actually went to Bird Creek up in Pawhuska with John and Chris and Jeff, and then we have gone and looked at the cemeteries and stuff like that. It's a lot of be careful and watch your steps and be respectful. As long as you're respectful, generally you don't have too many issues. But the Native American, they're very protective. I'm Native American.
Absolutely,
You don't look it, but they're very, very, very protective of their areas and their relatives and their cemeteries. And I understand that completely. So when we go in, we try to be respectful. There's one that we go to that's down from me about 35 minutes, Ingalls. It's a ghost town, but it also has a cemetery. And before we even stepped foot into it, she had stopped and talked to the resident that lives right by it and got history and made sure it was okay. We were there. We like to go in, and if we go in, we try to leave it better than when we left. We clean up, to put flowers, try to be respectful for the areas. And that's a lot of the things we've noticed at places we've gone is you'll show up and there's just graffiti and trash and people have partied. And that's something that really bugs me about the bigger areas. That's why I like the smaller ones, because they're not as visited and they don't have all the really bad stuff on the wall that I have to blur out when I'm editing video.
They've had to clean up a couple cemeteries here where unfortunately, probably like every town, we have a fairly big homeless population and by the train tracks, and we have a really old, I think it's not an Indian cemetery, it's a
pioneer cemetery,
the one over by Gold Street.
Oh yeah, I can't
that
remember.
one anyway. So the community had to come in and fix up all the headstones, and then they gated it in. So yeah, it's a shame that people want to tear that stuff down, but I think more of it's kids just being kids.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we're Native. Wow, I'm Native American. I have Native American ancestors. I'm probably maybe like 16th of Indian, and we're a Comanche. So, but my mom always wanted to move to Oklahoma. So,
and she's Cherokee. So,
yeah, I think on my dad's side we're Cherokee. So my mom is Comanche, but yeah, I'm not enough to say that I'm Native American. But it's there. Someday I'll look into it. But
and that's what's crazy, because I am, but I don't look it at all.
So what about like house calls? Have you ever done house calls?
We've done one, and we've got another one that we've been talking to someone about going and doing. We have a lady that wanted us to check out a barn of hers. She said that she had like a Native American spirit that they would see go in and out. So we went and checked out that and did a little investigation. Those aren't so terrible, except for trying to like get the homeowner to go back to their house, or
Oh
which
yeah,
find
yeah.
inviting people down. But when we're asking questions and trying to do, listen back to an EVP or anything like that, and a lot of the times I can't use the footage because all you hear is the homeowner asking questions and talking. What are you doing now? What's this? So, but we leave the option open to the people. If anybody has any issues, we'll come in. I no charge, because to me, if I had something like that and needed answers and wanted answers, I would hate to have to, pay out of pocket, especially, with two teenagers that like sports.
Yeah,
So
no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we do home investigations as well. That's probably been most of our requests.
Mhm.
I know there's a few groups out there that kind of frown on it, or they just don't like it. But we've had to turn some down before,
yeah,
just because I think it was more of a mental health issue than it was a paranormal issue. So yeah, it is kind of a sketchy kind of platform to step into. So yeah.
yeah. Well, and especially with us, being female, to
Yeah.
me, it can be a little sketchy going into someone's house that I don't know.
Yeah.
So we always try to bring them back up, even if they just sit in the car. We got to back up. So
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You have to do your homework, right? Not only on the activity that they say they're having or the history of the area, but also just the general dynamics of the place you're going into. Like, what's the family like? Are they doing weird things there? Were they
Mhm.
doing things on the darker side to conjure up stuff, which could be a bigger issue on top of, just your personal safety. So
absolutely. Yep.
there's a big checklist that you have to go through when you do house calls. So I'm glad you guys are paying
Yeah,
attention.
and they're not always forthcoming either. I mean, we've had everything from, come down here and investigate. And we kind of, on that specific one, I felt like some of it, they weren't telling us the whole story. And then we're kind of adding to the story. And then we've had everything from families that were having bad relationships and smoking a lot of pot, taking a lot of medication. So it's like, you might want to go get some therapy.
Maybe that noise you heard wasn't really paranormal. It might have been in your own head.
Too many.
But they ended up having some stuff in their house that I think was very valid. But when you have that kind of trouble in your house, it just attracts a whole lot of negative stuff that you probably don't want.
Just that negative aura.
Yeah, kind of compounds everything else that you're going through. So yeah.
So coming from, since you said that you have you're Native American, is there anything that you do before or after an investigation? Do you do offerings? Do you do anything to protect yourself? Anything like that?
We do. We actually, I have protective items that I bring with us. Even if they just sit in the car, they're still in the general area with us. We smudge, we'll sage ourselves. We've done offerings, because that's a big one. Any place we go, we try to make sure we leave an offering, especially if, it's got, I don't want to say like violent, but more like negative tendencies. A lot of the times, if you can leave some type of an offering, whether it's, I've left snacks before. And any little bit of things that you can leave, it kind of helps level it out a little bit. It keeps things from attracting, because that's our biggest, is I don't want to bring anything home, especially to my kids. So there were times that I've had something follow me, and I was to the point where one thing that the creeks do is you go back to the area and you go into a river or a creek near there, and you just cleanse yourself. Like, I was at that point, and I was like, it's cold outside and I'm about to jump in the creek because I was done with it. But we try to do as much as we can, because having things attached and then have it feed off of that and then spread it to people around you. So, definitely, crystals. That's a big one that we do, is we've got crystals. I've got a little protection bag that a friend made for me, that I take with us and stuff like that. So
have your kids seen anything? If you brought it home, have they ever talked about it, or
they've not? No, nothing that we've brought home. I'm really, really careful. Like, if I feel like anything's attached, I won't even come home.
Yeah.
Like, it stresses me out that bad, because I don't want them to have to deal with that. Now, I've taken my youngest on an investigation with us, and he had a really good time, but we made sure Sage be very direct to tell him, no, you can't come home with me. You have to stay here. So I had to teach him that, because he's pretty interested in it also. but he's young. I don't want him trying to go out and do this on his own. But if he does, I want to know that he can protect himself if he does go out and do it. So it's a lot of back and forth and explaining things and showing them how to, properly do it, and smudging things like saging is a big one. If you ever have anything negative, saging your house, depending on what you're feeling, is a big, big, thing that we do as Native Americans. So
yeah. Yeah, we have a 13-year-old grandson. We take him to very specific ones, not very many so far, but he wants to go back. We went to Mount Shasta in where we live, and it's a very, it has everything. You name it, it's going on there. But we investigated a cave, and he wants to go back. So that's one of our things we're going to do next month is take him back to the cave. It's not a cave. It's a lava tube, and it's about 3 miles in, and we only made it a quarter of the way in when we first did it. So, but yeah, we also like to, we take this platform so we can also educate parents, because we do another thing for our historical society every year at Halloween time. And it kind of gives us the opportunity to speak to parents, and because it seems like a lot of young people are stepping into this without really understanding what they're doing, or what they're getting into. So that's good that you do that with him, him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really want to make sure we emphasize to young people that you can cause a lot of trouble if you're not paying attention. You do things wrong, right? Trying to do seances, Ouija boards, different things like that. If you don't know what you're doing, you could potentially cause world of hurt for yourself and your family.
Yep. Absolutely.
So,
people that come out.
We don't do that. We don't do seances. We don't play with Ouija boards or anything like that. So we try to, if people like to do that, they like to do that, but we like to discourage the paranormal community. If you're just going in to investigate, go and investigate what's there. Don't try to open up portals and bring more.
Yeah.
Especially in people's homes.
Yes, absolutely. It's one thing to have a location, but to do that in a home, that's a big thing. Is I don't do Ouija boards. Can't do it. If you ever watched John's video of Bird Creek, Chris had made his own Ouija board and took it there. No touch. I was as far from it as I could be, because I don't play around with them. Those are one thing I will not mess with.
Yeah, I remember when we had them on, he was talking about how they made it out of an old gym floor.
Yep.
And that it was, the sense I got out of him and his body language, the tone of his voice was like, it's very powerful and a little bit scary.
Yeah, I think I watched the video. I don't know. I think I probably watched it on YouTube or a documentary. Might have been a YouTube video, but it was a couple of guys that were going out, and they could have been overseas, but they had the couple of Ouija boards, and the one guy really didn't believe in it, and they were messing around with it. Then they go out and he gets like 10 Ouija boards, and he puts them all in a circle. And he ended up fighting his friend. Like, he came out of this, stuff started happening and things were moving on all of them. And then he just got up and ran after his friend and tried to attack him. And it looked real. I believe it.
Why you don't play with stuff like that?
He never did that again. So, but yeah, they have consequences. So.
Oh yeah.
So when you go out to investigate, what is generally your intention? So we all got into this for a reason. Did you have an experience that caused you to want to do this, or are you just curious? And then what is your intention with it? What is your goal?
So I had an experience when I was a kid, and it left a really big, kind of question in my life of what is there. When I was little, I had my sisters and I, we all had this room, and we had stuffed animals in the corner, and I had seen one moving, and I thought, oh, it's just my sister hiding and she's messing with me. So I go up to it, and like they all just spread, like they just fly out. So I take off out of the room. There's no one else in there with me. And ever since then, I'm like, what made that move? What happened? Like, I need to know what this was. And mine is more of a curiosity of what is out there. I want to get as many answers as I can. I know that it can be difficult because not every location is going to comply with what you're asking, and then sometimes there's not anything there. But I just have a really big question of what is there, what could be there. And that's why I do it.
I kind of go off of her answers as well, but I've always been able to see them since I was a little kid. When I first seen them, I was living on a farm, and it sounds stupid, but it felt like they walked through the wall, and it was a man and a woman there, a married couple, and they looked like bikers to me. They were tattooed, and they sat on my bed, told me everything was going to be okay, and I left. And ever since then, I've never had anything negative happen to me, but I could well, little, but nothing too crazy. And ever since then, I've been able to see them. I mean, I've seen my grandparents. Whenever my grandpa passed away, I seen him. He was military, and standing in the hallway, the old military hats, you could see the shadow and everything. And I mean, I have pictures from places I've been that have, proof right there. So, and some people, like one of the pictures, it's clear as day. You can see somebody sitting in a tree. It looks like somebody has a hood over their head, and they're like, "That's a person." I'm like, "No, everybody was behind me, and there was only a few people with me." So it's been, I mean, it's really cool. I want them to have a voice that they don't get to have now that they're, on the other side. And so I think it's really cool. So
Nice.
Yeah. So speaking of the other side, do you guys have a faith-based, do you believe in the Bible? What do you put that all together in? Is there, as you search for your answers and listen to spirits, where do you think people go when they die?
That is a great question. I used to be very, very faith-based, and had a personal tragedy happen about 4 years ago. And since then, I've questioned anything and everything, and my faith has definitely been rocked. So I'm trying to build that back up, figure out where I should be. And I feel like doing something like this kind of gives me a little bit more of an insight. I do think there's somewhere that we go after we pass on. Where that is, I'm not 100%. Like I said, I'm trying to rediscover kind of what that is. I'm actually from Mormon faith, and it actually rocked a lot. So I haven't been to church. I still pray. I still have faith. Like, I still believe, but it's more of a trying to get that back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of helps, because I like to know that when we do pass, that we don't just stop existing, because I
Yeah.
don't feel like that we do. I feel like there's somewhere we go, whether we can speak to our loved ones or we're just in a whole nother world and we're just moving about our lives in a different time. So I think that's the biggest of why it's become so interesting, is I want to rediscover my faith and what faith that is, because maybe it won't be the same faith that I grew up with. So
Yeah. I think, I think we get boxed into these labels.
yeah.
I was raised Jehovah's Witness. I don't know a lot about Mormons. I know a little bit, but I know Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons get kind of confused. They're like, "Oh, so Jehovah's Witnesses on the Bible?" No, that's not Jehovah's
No, that's
Witnesses.
the Mormons.
They're the Sunday door knockers. But
Yeah.
in having family tragedies as well, that kind of made me wonder about my faith and why do we go through these things, and then you find out your religion is really not what it was supposed to be, what you were taught. So I think I would say stay on your path, because God has you on a path for whatever reason, just like I'm on a path right now for whatever reason. And it's interesting because, you want to rebuild that relationship, because if you believe in one, you have to believe in the other. So somehow you have to make that all come together and work in your best interest so you stay on the right path. But I think religion can kind of box you in, and, we're only taught what they want us to know. So I think it's very important to be very open-minded. But also not get on the demon train either, or, things like that. So it's a balance, definitely a balance.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny, what about you? Do you have any faith or religious convictions?
I grew up Christian ever since I was little. I always went to church with my grandma. And, learning there, you go to heaven when you die, or, you're reincarnated or anything like that. But growing up, I wouldn't say I'm really I'm still Christian, but I don't know where I'm at right now. Because, I don't know if to believe, if we really do, go to heaven when we pass away, or, what's past that point, there's, yes, some I believe in it, and then some I don't. I don't know. It's at this point, it's very hard to say what I am, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's hard to latch onto the word faith blindly, you
Yeah.
know, and I think history's proven that because we've been through multiple, biblical waves, throughout history. So I think faith is just one of those things that's really hard to go, yeah, I'm just going to have blind faith and go about my life and not ever wonder, but.
And I think the reason why I asked this is because, you know, people's religious beliefs definitely can play a factor in how they investigate what they believe they're listening to, what is communicating back, whether that be intelligent or like a looping, haunting, or whatever kind of energy, right? I mean, and we believe that energy, right? It can't be destroyed. It goes on and on forever, right? And I think you guys are, in my opinion, kind of in the same boat as we are, where it's like, I'm not going to put myself in a box and say I am, a Mormon, or I am, a Lutheran or a Catholic, whatever, right? So, but the faith in believing that there is something out there that's bigger, right? And with heaven. And that was one of the things for me that I always, growing up, I grew up Catholic, and I always thought, well, there's heaven, there's hell, and there's purgatory in the middle. And
Yeah.
now I'm at that point. It's like, man, with all of the things I've experienced paranormal, I feel like that whether you want to call it different dimensions, whether you want to call it different planes of energy, I really think that there is just like an endless amount of different, dimensions or planes of energy where all of these spiritual energy can travel and communicate. And it's kind of got us on the path of reading and studying things that are outside of what traditional religions want you to know. Like the book of Enoch and the book of Jubilees, for example, right? They were, I mean, if you want to have faith, they were, accounts of God and Jesus and things, but it wasn't part of the normal traditional Bibles that people see. And that kind of opened my eyes to a lot of different things as far as where we go when we pass away and what the spirits can do and how they can communicate. So I like to encourage everyone to check some of that stuff out, because as you get your evidence from different places and you get your EVPs and your intelligent communication through your spirit boxes and different things like that, it's like you start thinking about this other stuff. It kind of opens up, man, I'm communicating in a very, very, very special way.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really hard to, you want to go out and do paranormal and find answers when, man, it's a big door, and it can't just stop at, yeah, I just got some evidence. That's really cool. I wonder where we go. Your mind just is like, oh, yeah, we need to go a little bit far. What do they say? Curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of how we are. Is, we'll catch something, and I'm very big. I do the historical part. So if I catch something or I get a name, first thing I'm doing is checking that location, see if that name's tied to anything. And, I think that's one of the biggest with some of the cemeteries is you have the records of everything. But I like to know whether or not there's a tie between that person, or if it's just random nonsense that's coming across on a spirit box. So the historical aspect's really big for me, as I like to research and know about where I'm going, or know about what we're doing, or who we might talk to. I don't particularly like non-answered questions, so I want to be able to go in with as much knowledge of where we're at as I can. I don't really have any issues with any of the places we go on. I don't get scared very often. There's only been, I think, 2 instances where I've run from anything we've investigated. One was pretty bad. Like, I cut our live short. We were done. I went home, we didn't even finish our investigation, and I've never had anything like that happen to me. I mean, I've dealt with paranormal my whole life, and that was probably the scariest moment I've ever had. So, being able to go in with the knowledge and even just the faith-based, knowing that this could answer a question you might have on that is really big for me.
So can you tell us about that specific incident, or?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, so for a while I couldn't talk about it. Still haven't even posted the footage of it, but we went to Black Bear Cemetery up by Covington and Enid. And it's a place we'd been a couple different times. I don't know what it is. Something just kind of draws us back, and we just go there. When we get bored, we're like, hey, we haven't investigated or done a live in a while. Let's go. So it's got a church on one side of the road and the cemetery on the other. And we were sitting in my car, and we're on Facebook Live or TikTok Live. and I've got the phone in front of me and I've got my flashlight and we're just chatting. I mean, we just hoot and holler back and forth, make jokes, laugh, catch something, we catch something. And I had seen something white out of the corner of my eye, and I turn and you just see I'm looking where the phone is, and I flash my flashlight to see what I can see, and all I can see is this giant white face, and it's got like hollow eyes and this creepy smile, and I was done. I froze Destiny, and she was like, "Are you all right?" And I'm just like, "Mm-mm." And she's like, "Do you want to leave?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm." And we got out of the car, switched seats, and I just started bawling. And I've never had that happen. We got down the road, and my car had been covered in a film of dust. We hadn't touched anything on the outside. I don't even think we got out of the car that night. And when we get to the stop sign, I wanted to see, because when I saw it and put the light on it, I had noticed it slide down my hood. And we actually, when I got out of the car and go to film, you just see giant hands like had just streaked down the front of my car. And I was like, nope, done. I don't think we went back there for
like a month.
It was like a month, almost 2 months. I didn't even think about that place. I couldn't even talk about it.
Yeah, and I think people could be thinking that is like somebody that's actually was buried in the cemetery, but I would be safe to say that that's not from the cemetery or any historical.
I don't think so either. So a lot of research I'd done. There was research that I'd done. There was another group that went and they saw a thing called a crawler. Same kind of features, and it lives in the basement of the church across the street is where they see it. And to me, I was like, that's got to be it. That's what it was. Yeah. It didn't go in for a while. And when I got back, the first night I went back, I just straight put my foot down. I was like, you will not touch me. You will not talk to me. You will not follow me. We are done. And I've not had any issues with it since.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, that's scary.
Scariest one I've ever had, and I've dealt with quite a bit my entire life of seeing things, hearing things, and that one kind of shook me. So
Oklahoma, is that in the 4 regions of shape?
I don't think so. That's not
I always forget what the 4 corners are called.
No, I don't think so. It would be, there's no Navajo over there, right?
I don't believe so in that area. I'd have to look. Because that was kind of one of my thoughts is what if it was something from there, but it's still a little bit of a touchy subject. So I, kind of had, you do ChatGPT to go through and look at, make a picture of it. And I had something kind of popped up and I was like, oh, that's exactly what was sitting on my hood. So it was a lot. I've got the footage. I keep saying I'm going to post it and then I get in my feelings about it and then I don't. So. But
yeah, sometimes by holding back, even though that's from an investigator standpoint, it's like, man, I captured some awesome stuff, or sometimes we want to hold back and not put it out there because we don't want to, I don't know, for lack of better terms, bring on the bad juju, right?
Absolutely.
When you put out stuff.
Absolutely. And you also want people to believe you too. I mean, we have stuff on our Facebook, our personal experiences, and we get kind of weird about it because it's like we know that it was real, and but there's a lot of people that are going to go, you just probably did that yourself. And then you get a little offended. It's like, I was there, you weren't. I know that was, so there is that, I think that fear of people discounting your experience.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest, especially with it being such a profound effect on me. I'm like, I don't want to put it out there. And then people are like, oh, you're so dumb, or like, I can't believe.
And that's the whole point of doing paranormal is, and it's a point of doing podcasting and getting together is to share our experiences. Maybe they see something that we didn't see, and they can say, yeah, this might be what this is, or explain what a creeper is. I don't know if that's a common story where you live or in that area, and that is relevant to something at some point. Maybe there were devil worshippers at one time in past centuries, and who knows,
Yeah, I mean, and those are one of those things. Obviously, when it comes to paranormal, things can be anything, right? Because we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But
there was some stuff that had gone on in that church that after it shut down, it was not so positive. And there's all sorts of like, I don't even know what all was done in the basement, but the basement's probably like the darkest. It's a heavy, heavy vibe down there. Like the comment says, there's yells, there's voices. We've caught voices there. So, I mean, it's a very active area, and it's one that we like to go because every time we go, we get something different. And then we go on nights and we get nothing. So it's just forth with it. And, it just happens to be one of our favorite places to go. Plus, Ingalls is really a really good one there also.
So I'm just curious about the church because, churches can get really culty. We live in an area north, if you go a little bit north, or because of Mount Shasta and all the lore behind Mount Shasta, it draws a lot of culty type groups and stuff like that. Was this church what you call maybe a normal church, or was it more, do you know if the history is culty?
No. So what little history we did find about it, it was something put together by just the little town there. And the cemetery across the street was actually owned by the Baldwin family. And they helped fund to put the church in, and it ran for quite some time. And it's just normal church. I think the only reason it shut down was funding or something like that. It wasn't anything super crazy, but I know once it shut down and it was abandoned, that's when all the stuff started, people going there. And then I think it was 2013. The church mysteriously caught on fire or something like that. So all that's left are the walls. So a lot of stuff that's happened there. I mean, between parties and probably people going out there and taking Ouija boards and not knowing what they're doing.
I mean, our light was stolen.
Oh yeah,
as we were there.
Yeah, we had a light stolen. We put a light up so that we could have a camera filming, and one of our lights was stolen from that area. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens out there, especially being in the middle of nowhere, because it's like smack dab middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and unfortunately, when churches become abandoned, that kind of draws people that want to dabble in kind of the dark side of things to those locations to do all those types of things, which can lead to negative things happening.
Yeah.
So leftover residual negativity.
Absolutely.
So which brings up another question as far as what is your thoughts on all this kind of negative or heavy or dark feeling energy? Do you feel that everything, because some people want to believe that everything that they encounter that's bad is a demon. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, and I don't think so. People are bad. I mean, people carry heavy, negative, dark with them also. I mean, look at history with some of the people that have passed, serial killers, stuff like that. So I don't think it necessarily is a demon. Like it could just be, it could,
we feel.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of emotion can come from just a person that it can radiate, because I can be in a room with Destiny and I'll know that she's upset and I haven't even spoken to her or been anywhere near her. So I think a lot of it just has to do with perception. People think negative, they think evil, they think dark. They're like, oh, demon. It's a demon. It's a demon. And very rarely are you going to find something like that. Like we've run into negative, angry spirits, but we've never run into anything like that. And to me, you would really need a lot of evidence to prove otherwise if it is a demon, as opposed to just a really, really angry or sad person.
Yeah.
Holly and them, when we went up to Huska, like what she went through and all that, like, you're going to feel a sad feeling, but at the other part of it, it's like you feel happy, like she talks to you and she's still willing to, talk to us, but it's not dark like people, want to put it at.
Yeah.
Well, it could be, like we talk about Native American lands and the lands that are sacred, in that culture, they do things to protect their sacred land. Absolutely. That was our the first time that we ever got scared was the cemetery that we kind of got ourselves in trouble with. And it wasn't that we were doing anything. We never give our locations out, but somebody recognized just the very small clip that we had showed. But I'm pretty sure that we were chased off by a shapeshifter. So, I mean, that dark energy is not always necessarily, I think, put there to hurt you more than to maybe scare you off because they don't want you there.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to be here. I'm going to do what I can to get you to leave.
Yeah,
without physically hurting you.
Yeah, I believe that too. And I think that's a big one. There was one cemetery we went to that there's one part of it that didn't feel like we should go near there. And then all of a sudden, this like random deer pops from nowhere. Like we didn't even see it run into the cemetery. And then we were talking about it, look away, look back, deer's gone.
Yep.
And I'm like, what? Go home. because that was our warning. So, and I think that, elemental or, stuff like that with the Native Americans, I do think that's a big one. Pawhuska, Osage, they have what they call the little ones. They're supposed to be protectors of, native lands and sacred spaces and stuff like that. So I totally believe that that's a big thing that you run into.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of that too is having that belief structure and being open-minded to all the different kind of faith structures too, right? So everyone's on their own journey of faith, and that kind of all goes back to that question, is like being open-minded. I've ran into groups that are very, focused in what they believe, and it's like, well, that wasn't American, that was just evil, that was a demon. And I really believe that not everything out there is necessarily demonic in nature.
Absolutely, I 100% agree.
So when it comes to do any of you, so Destiny, you talked about how you always can kind of see people. Would you consider that like a gift that you have, or do you have anything else, empathic gifts or anything like that, either one of you?
I wouldn't say, I mean, honestly, it's been with my whole family that we've been able to see stuff. I mean, my little brother, when he was little, he would say, oh, this little boy, is playing outside, and, the people, we live on a shared land. And so the other people, they won't say nothing to us about it unless we say something to them. But you can, like my little brother, he'll say, oh, this little boy was playing outside and wearing these clothes. I have a picture of this three little boys standing in the window outside looking in. And I mean, it's honestly, I guess you could say it's a gift, but I mean, it's if you believe it or not, honestly.
So how do you couple that into when you do your investigation? Like, what kind of equipment do you guys use? Kind of walk me through the routine that you have for your investigations.
So the big thing that we like to do is the first thing we do when we get to a location is we will walk around and just kind of peek and see, what areas we really want to focus on, what areas we want to avoid. We don't have a whole lot because we have just started out. We've only been doing this since March. So I always have a digital recorder with me. We just recently got a REM pod, which kind of iffy with the REM pods. But, usually we go in and all I have is a camera and my digital recorder and maybe the K2 meter. We don't like to use a whole lot of equipment because I don't want to have a whole lot of bells and whistles, I suppose. I want it to be as bare minimum as possible. And I feel like she's the same. I'm more of a experience it. And if I get it on camera, because I have a camera that I take with me, we have a video camera, and a lot of times we'll do TikTok lives and that we have that footage also. And that's what I'll go back and view. But honestly, we'll set everything up, but it's more of I like to experience it and catch it on like my camera, like I do pictures and stuff like that. So we don't like to do a whole bunch of fancy stuff. So when we do end up on someone else's investigation, they're like, oh, this is this. And I'm like, oh, I have a cat ball.
I mean, we also
well, we have a lot of stuff, and 9 times out of 10, we forget we even have it because it's really kind of unnecessary. I mean, I think our most favorite is our SB7, our spirit box, a recorder, and then just one camera. I mean, really, that's all you need. I mean, we have an SLS camera, and we're not sold on it. I mean, I haven't had any good luck with an SLS camera. It just seems more of a hassle.
Oh yeah.
We did the kind of typical first team starting, and we went out and kind of over a period of a few months, like 6 months, kind of purchased a bunch of stuff, right? Was that financially smart? No, because the stuff is expensive. But now we've got this whole multiple cases full of stuff, and we use like 3 things. Hey David, thanks for tuning in. Hey, so you mentioned REM pod. Why do you say it's iffy? Like, what's your concern with the REM pod?
So I don't have a whole lot of experience with the REM pod. So to me, it's like I worry like if the air conditioner pops on and the temperature gauge goes off, is that like I can tell that's not paranormal, but to other people, like, oh my gosh, it's going off. Like, it's making noise. And sometimes I'll watch and I'm like, you're kind of close to that REM pod. Like, maybe back up a little, because it has different ranges that you can do.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now if I'm in a big open room and it's sitting in the very middle, like at Bird Creek when it was on a stage with no one around it and it was going off, you got me. I can't explain that. But I'm a very, like, I like to try to explain and see what's going on. So we just started using our own. We used it the first time at the no, we used it at Bear Creek.
Oh yeah.
Or Black Bear. I don't know why we say Bear Creek. But and it didn't go off. It went off ever so slightly once, and we were all over the place, and I always catch stuff. But then we went to the same mansion. Every room, it was like beep, 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 and it does do the electromagnetic field. So if it's bad wiring, that can make something go off or anything like that. So it's more of a learning process with it. And I think the more that we use it, the more comfortable I'll be with it. It's just right now, it's new. I've not used it a lot. You know,
the thing about the REM pods, and when you're using REM pods and the K2 meters, you can't have your cell phones on. Definitely can't have your cell phones on. Don't be using we're not a fan of the phone apps. I know a lot of people use them, but then there you are setting off all your equipment. Walkie-talkies will set your REM pod off.
Yep.
10 feet away, 15 feet away. We were in a 2-story house, and the REM pod was going off, and we're like, but we're talking on the walkies, and we're like, what is going on? Yeah. And then we realized it was actually going through the floor.
See, and that's kind of my biggest thing.
So you have to have a sterile. You have to have the most sterile environment that you can possibly have.
And that's the point. I like the REM pod, and what I like it for is you have to preset everything.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're going to be in a large location and doing different things in different parts of the location with different people, I like the REM pod, and I like to set a static camera on it, but I want to sterilize the area. And what I mean by that is, like, make sure that there's no Wi-Fi in the house.
Yeah.
Make sure that it's not next to wires, like all the things you had mentioned. You kind of
turn the air off, turn everything off.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, if it's hot outside, you're going to be hot inside, right? So that's part of the investigation process. Shut it all down, right? Even to the point where if you have to, you hit the breakers and you turn the power off to the building, right? Totally sterile, right? So you can't get any kind of interference. Set a single camera on it, set it and forget it, walk away. Yeah. Right. Especially if you're going to be doing a bunch of stuff, downstairs. Let's say like there's a basement, throw that REM pod in there with a camera, sterilize the basement and walk away. So when you're doing the rest of your investigations, then you can go back and see if anything you were doing or saying coincided with the activity of that REM pod. So that's what they're good for. But it's not really a great tool for just like an impromptu, I'm going to set it up and go do a 10-minute investigation at a cemetery.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of my thoughts on the REM pod, but I do like it.
Yeah, and seeing like I said, it's more of like a learning process. It takes us a little bit to use stuff. We're working on doing a spirit box. We definitely want to get one of those, because that's one of our biggest is, just communicating. Because I mean, I've got clips upon clips, like where I catch voices on like a video or on my digital recorder and stuff like that. So I mean, those you have to really watch, and that's why I like a couple different cameras, like the TikTok Live, and then I have a handheld that I use because I can match things up in case she whispered. And I've learned very, very quickly, if you're on an investigation and you're recording, don't whisper, just talk out loud.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can tell if you're talking opposed to this little bitty whisper that might sound like anything or everybody. So it's more,
especially if you're doing recordings, then it's like, just be normal, talk normal, walk normal, because then we can very easily count that out as debunked as that was somebody moving, that was team member X or whatever, saying something.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And as far as spirit boxes, we're kind of partial. So if I could, you guys don't have a spirit box yet?
Not yet. No, that is our next guy is a spirit box.
So my recommendations, just from all the different things we've used different ones. Anything from Gary Galka, look him up. The SB7, it's not very expensive, it's affordable, and they're tried and true. We have beat the crap out of that thing, right? We've dropped it, we've hit it on stuff like batteries. We've left the batteries in it over several months, and it's like they've corroded inside. Cleaned it up, and it works just fine, right? It is bulletproof, it works great.
But don't leave the batteries in it. Anytime you're not, don't leave batteries in your equipment.
That was a mistake, but we were able to get it to work. So it's tried and true. It will work. And his stuff is great. And he has all sorts of instructions that you can watch on how to fine tune things with it.
Yeah.
With that said, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, what equipment you're using, because it's really the intention behind the investigator, whether or not it's going to work.
Yeah.
I think our first spirit box we got at we went to Zach Biggins Haunted Museum in Las Vegas, and they sell the little red ones.
Yeah.
It's okay, but they seem to pick up more radio than anything. But
Yeah.
like Ryan said, it's just intention. I don't like that one. We never touch it anymore. It's
I
in
think
there,
that's
but
just kind of like your Amazon special, you know,
Yeah,
to
like the
make money type of
Sammy
thing,
Cole
right?
Jewel line and stuff like that.
Yeah, versus the stuff you get from Gary Golka. He is an actual electrical engineer, and he designs these things to communicate with spirits because he has a personal story. His daughter was killed in a car accident, so he designed all this stuff so he could talk to his daughter.
Yep.
Right? So it's like the intention behind the equipment, how it was manufactured, what it's used for, I think says a lot about what you're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
So other than K2 meters, any other things that are like favorites that you have, or things that are on your list of I want to get?
Music box.
I want a music box. Yeah, that's definitely one that I want to make. But I don't know if I want to buy one or if I want to look into trying to make one, just to see how it works. I think that's the biggest. I want to see how they work. And I've seen a couple people that have made theirs, like homemade their own music boxes that they take on investigation. So that's one of the big ones that I really want to get. The cat balls are fun. They definitely give you the wow factor when you're on a TikTok live. But I would say my favorite is just my camera and my digital recorder. Like, yeah, and my ears. Yeah, absolutely.
Ears and eyes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So, do you have a location that, like you said, you have your bucket list? What's at the top of your bucket list?
Waverly Hills.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
I used to live in Kentucky, and I remember telling my mom I wanted to buy it and I wanted to live there and live with the ghosts, and she was like, "Are you crazy? We're not buying that." So
She was worried about you not buying it, not the fact you want to live with ghosts.
right. But that's my top bucket list, is to go to Waverly.
I think
Definitely.
mine's any like prison or where you want to go to.
Waverly or a
honestly.
prison.
Yeah.
Mhm. Joliet. That's
Mhm.
another one. So, or the Queen.
Yeah.
Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all good
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah, they're all great locations. I mean, a lot of people go there, do them, and that's one of those things that I think every team at some point needs to experience some kind of quote unquote big box version of a haunted location,
Yeah, I
because
agree.
there's so much there, and we have to experience it. We really haven't had anything big like that we've been able to experience.
No, we went to Tombstone. That was fun. If you ever
Yeah,
have a chance to go
Tombstone.
there,
Tombstone.
Tombstone's fun.
Love
Yeah.
Tombstone.
That
I've
entire town has activity in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you go, what you're doing. And
Yeah.
I mean, we were gathering activity there, and that was right before Christmas. So it was like their
Yeah.
holiday weekend, super busy, a lot of stuff happening, and we still were able to gather evidence. So yeah, shout out to Paul from Paranormal 24/7. We went with another group and investigated the Undertaker's office there.
And you can watch all those videos on we have a YouTube channel just under Paranormal Triage. So if you're interested in just checking it out.
Yeah,
Go
see,
watch
and
those.
when I went to Tombstone, it wasn't even investigation. I was just there on vacation and experienced stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, so you have been there. It's a cool place.
Oh, I
like that
love
place.
it.
Yeah, it's a
Love
really
it.
cool place. Yeah. And one thing I liked about Tombstone is literally every corner has history.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it's not necessarily the history that you get from like watching the movies and stuff. So when you like start learning the history from Tombstone, then you're like,
Yes.
oh, okay, that's really something that I didn't know. So
Mhm.
you're able to take that and and incorporate that into your investigations. And we're able to capture some cool stuff. And Boot Hill Cemetery is one of probably the top cemeteries to go visit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Pretty cool.
So-
Yeah. Yep.
We like cemeteries. I don't know what it is, but seems to be a big reason.
This.
Would you say that that's kind of more what you're kind of gravitate towards, is going to
Yes.
cemeteries and doing those like quick investigations?
Well, and we'll go to a cemetery, and as long as we're allowed to be there, I'll stay all night. Like I'll stay
Okay.
if I need to. It's very rarely do we have anything that's like super quick. There's been one a church that we went to that we went in there for like 30 minutes and then we're like, all right, we're out of here. But like Black Bear, when we go, we pack everything. I've got my batteries, like chargers, everything we have, and we'll sit there until usually about 3:30 in the morning, and then we'll leave. Yeah. So we'll get there around 8 or 9 o'clock when there's still light, so we can walk around and see what's going on, and then we'll sit and we'll be there till sometimes 3:30 in the morning.
Yep.
So
we don't really get that opportunity here. California's we're kind of locked down most of the time. There's hours we can do things, and then most of the time our parks and things like that are pretty locked down. So it's kind of
there's quite a few of them that are that way. But if you go to there's so many country places that you can go to that generally there's no one out there. You just go in, no gates, there's no anything, and that's kind of I know that Black Bear does have a gate, but it's always open. It's never closed. So it's one of those that we go to quite a few times. Then there's the one in Guthrie that we go to that we like, but you have to be out by 10 o'clock. No ifs, ands, or buts. We've gotten
kind of. I would assume that the one you said Black Bear, is that more of in the 1800s, the Black Bear one, and then the Guthrie one, is that more of a current, probably mixed cemetery?
It's older. Have you ever heard of Elmer McCurdy?
Yes. Yep.
He's buried there.
Okay.
At Summit View in Guthrie.
Yep.
So it's got Boot Hill. So that one's got some it dates back, but it's more run, I guess it's a privately run. So they're very strict on hours and people being in there. And I mean, we've thought about reaching out to see if maybe they would be up for letting us stay there a little longer. I don't know how that would work because we're not Zach Bagans, but
it's
but
tough.
You never know.
There was the cemeteries are tough. There's a local cemetery here that we, it's run by like a community district, right? So the privately run cemeteries, most of them have a board of people that kind of control the maintenance and the money and stuff. So it's we actually went to the board meeting and, pled our case and told them what we do and, how respectful we are. And they were willing to let us investigate, but they wanted to be there when we did it, a couple of the board members. So they came and all this stuff. And then come to find out the terms of it, kind of after the fact was, well, we don't want people to know where this place is. So we got a lot of good experience as far as our team having, the teamwork and the camaraderie of doing the investigation and the experience of the investigation, but we weren't able to really put it out for people to see. Right. And we don't do stuff, we're not monetized. We don't make any money off of putting our stuff on our channels. We just put it out there to put it out there. So that was kind of disappointing. I mean, I'm assuming
the funny thing is everybody already knew about it because that's how
people know. Everybody that wants to know about where cemeteries are already knows where the cemeteries are.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You can Google it and find out where it's at. Right.
Yeah. And kind of what ruined it is we have a very culty church here, and they went out there and did some weird stuff, and so they weren't real happy about that. Yeah. They were laying on the graves and stuff like that, so they were doing some weird stuff. So, kind of ruined it for anybody else that just wanted, but everybody knows about it. It's we ended up not dropping. We have little clips of it up, but not really anything impressive.
Molly, thanks for your comment. I mean, Eureka Springs, Arkansas, energy is thick. I mean, someday, maybe we'll get to that side. I mean, how close are you guys? I mean, I guess I should know my geography a little bit better.
4 hours.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, that's kind of like a typical drive for us to get to any investigation in California is 4 to 5 hours. So,
I mean, Tombstone was like a 2-day expedition just because we took a break. But even then, when you coming out of California and you hit the Highway 10, we were literally in the twilight zone because that road was weird. There was something wrong with that road, that highway. It just never ended, and it took us, I think, 3 hours longer than the map said it was supposed to take. So I don't know. We hit some kind of time lag or
I don't know. Driving for you would be that big of a deal if you said you drive an hour to go to work. So, I mean.
Well, yeah. And I mean, 4 hours is nothing. We went to Pitcher, Oklahoma, which is another one of those kind of ghost towns. It was an all day thing. It's four. Yeah. Was it 2 hours?
It's 3.
It was 3.5, 4 hours. We drove up there. Well, we stopped at 50 different places.
Well, yeah, but
yeah, we did that. We stopped in Coffee Creek or Coffeeville in Kansas. So I mean, we drive. I mean, not a thing for me. I don't mind if we just Waverly, I would get in my car, or like I would get in my car right now and just go. Be like, bye, we're going.
And
Yeah.
I wish we lived in a smaller state, but California is like driving from one side of the planet to the other.
Yeah, I was saying,
Yeah.
I've not been to California. It's on the list, but
It's nothing really special, but I mean, there's definitely the paranormal stuff to come see. Like if
Mhm.
there was teams that wanted to drive through the state, I mean, it's such a big state. If you want to drive through the state and hit 4 or 5 spots, there's definitely the things to do and see. It's just spread out,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know. But I mean, I'd like to go to the Warrens' house.
Yeah, that would be
That'd
cool.
definitely be a place to go. Ed and Lorraine's Warren's house, and now that it's open, it's actually semi-affordable. With Matt Rife being part of the group that's kind of running that now, it's more affordable than other places.
Yeah.
So
Some of them are crazy expensive. So
Yeah.
groups
yeah,
like this, it's like we'll start saving now, and maybe then they won't raise the prices. But like I know Sally House isn't super crazy. It's pretty affordable to go to like the Sally House and stuff
yeah,
like
I've
that.
heard that.
So, yeah. I know that what is it? The McIntyre Villa just was bought, and
Yeah.
way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's not very popular from what I hear. Is that the same buyer?
Yeah. He
Yeah,
owns that. And then what, the Velisca Axe Murder House, I think, is he owns that one also. So,
yeah.
but it went from like 400 a night to like 900.
Oh
a night.
wow.
Holy
That's crazy.
cow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty steep, but
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
if I remember correctly, the Warrens I think was in like the 350 range, but that was the one-time fee up to like 8 people,
Yeah.
and it was 24 hours.
Yep.
So you get 24 hours there, and then when I was digging through all the information on the website, they'll give you B-roll and the history already.
Yeah.
Like they already have it all, and that's all included in what you're doing, right? So they'll give you all that stuff, so you don't really have to run around and film and do a bunch. You already have your B-roll done.
Right.
You already have all that
Which is
done.
amazing. That's amazing. Places that'll just like give you the history. Now, like if they set you up for those, I don't mind paying a little more. I think that's
Yeah,
amazing. When you have that
Absolutely.
history, there's so much history with certain places, and trying to do all that research is a lot because sometimes it takes me a while when we start going places to Google and
Yeah.
look up in the archives or whatever I can get access to. So
Yeah.
Well, and it's hard too because you got to cross-reference that too to make sure that the history is accurate. That you're
Yep.
not just, someone
Yeah.
put something up on a Wikipedia page that anybody can type anything they want and submit it to Wikipedia, right? So you want to make sure that the history you're giving is the actual accurate history.
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
It can be tough sometimes. So how do you go about doing your history study? Like, do you have any connections with local historical societies? Do you,
So
do you have
like
the resources?
here in Guthrie, I'm actually friends with, well, not here, I'm in Perry, but in Guthrie, where I'm from, we do a lot of investigations there. And I've got a few friends that are like on the Commerce, or the Chamber of Commerce, and you can get I've gotten a hold of them to get history on places. Believe it or not, library is like the most phenomenal place to go.
Mhm.
And I know there's different websites you can use, like archive websites, land websites. You do have to pay for some of those, and I've done that a couple of times just to see ownership of things. But those are kind of our main things. Books, like I'll go to the library and ask questions. The Commerce, if you can get a hold of people that are in the town, that's a really big one. Anybody
Yeah.
on like historical society. There's a historical society here. Her grandmother's land, we just found out, was had a bunch of graves on it. So about 40 Civil War aged graves, and it's
Wow.
down three headstones among the properties. So we learned that from a historian the other day. So it's just more of a who to talk to and where they
Yeah.
can reach you in the right direction, especially in older towns like this. I mean, Guthrie, everybody knows pretty much everything. So
Yeah, and support
Yeah.
your local historical societies because those people are
Mhm.
great. They
Yeah.
just have all
Absolutely.
kinds of stuff. So.
And
Absolutely.
they know it, right?
Yeah.
The people that work there, they've got
They
the
live
history
it.
down, and it's great. And for groups like ours, it's an underrated asset,
Mhm.
right? People
Mhm.
forget about
Absolutely.
that. So what do you have anything coming up new and coming up on your stuff?
Not really right now. So
Not so much. I'm actually in the process of moving. So things are kind of a little bit on the back burner. I know we've got a place that we go in Chandler, Caden's Curiosities. They
Mhm.
have a museum. They've got a Halloween party investigation they've got coming up. And now that we've got a bit more equipment, we're going to talk to Caden about doing an investigation there. So that one might be in the books. That's one I want to do. We just wanted to do it justice, and I wanted to make sure we had some equipment when we went in for that one.
Yeah, I
So,
remember the
Into the Veil.
Into the Veil was mentioned them quite a bit. So
they're
you know, I
they're
want
amazing.
to-
Caden's awesome.
I'm gonna have to get their information and see if they want to come on and talk to us about their curiosity.
I think I reached out to him. He ignored me. So I'm going to reach out to him again. I'm going to send him another email saying, why are you ignoring
And
me?
I talked to him the other day, and he said you reached out. And I was like, you need to message her back. But they're amazing. They've got so much stuff in there. If you get to watch any of their videos, they've got
Yeah.
a doll room with over 200 something dolls.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, people got a doll thing right now. A lot of people are doing dolls. I'm just like, I'm good. I have a couple dolls and yeah, I'm good.
Eh,
You
They're a
don't
little
think
bit-
I want any of them. I'm good with that.
When I was
That's-
little, I had a life-size doll that was probably 4 feet tall, and that thing, I'd have to put it in the closet. It would scare me so bad at nighttime because it had the eyeballs that were like, when it laid down, they would just automatically close and open, and that would be, yeah, I didn't have that doll very long. It was
It could
creepy.
blink at you.
Yeah, it would
Really
blink at you. Scary.
Yeah. I've never been about dolls, and it could be from my experience of all those toys flying at me that time.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
Man, dolls are not my friend. If I hear on an event, I just skip it.
Cool. So where can people, we're coming up kind of to our time limit here. Where can people find you and look you up and watch your stuff?
So our biggest platform right now that we have is TikTok. It's Crossing the Veil Paranormal. And then we also have our Facebook group, which is just same thing, Crossing the Veil Paranormal. Those are our big two. I'm working on YouTube. It's slow going, but TikTok definitely has the most. And you can message us there, message us on Facebook. We reach out almost immediately if we can. We've got tons of footage, forums. We like to chit chat with people. Like if you have questions,
And to do raffles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're working on a bunch of stuff now, trying to get it all updated. But TikTok, Crossing the Veil Paranormal, and Facebook are our biggest.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, that was awesome. Awesome to talk to you guys. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll probably do this again. Like I say that to every one of our guests, just because everything turns out to always be a good conversation. So what we're going to do, we'll throw you backstage. We're going to finish up with the rest of our audience here and talk a little bit, and then we'll talk to you in a little while.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So Crossing the Veil.
Yep.
Super cool. I like their thought processes and how they organize things. I like how they're open-minded. I like how they keep it simple with not too much equipment. All good things that I agree with. So
Yeah.
sounds like a good group. I'm looking forward to seeing more of their content as it comes out. So go check them out. What they say, Crossing the Veil Paranormal on TikTok and Facebook.
And yeah, these are smaller groups. We're smaller groups, support each other.
Yep.
Just because we're little doesn't mean we're not important.
Yeah. I mean, just because we like to come on here and say we have a podcast and do this doesn't mean that we're a crazy big group. We're still pretty small. And I would like to showcase all the other small people because that is the paranormal community.
Yeah. So come next week, Sunday, 5:00.
Yep.
Pacific Daylight Time.
That's Breaking the Veil.
This will be Breaking the Veil. Yes, this will be our third
Maybe
veil.
we shouldn't have called it July Paranormal Week. We should have called it Veil Paranormal Month or
I
something.
know, right? Well, who would have thunk it? Yeah, I wasn't thinking. But yeah, and they're a young group. So we're excited to have them on, and I know they're excited. They've never been on a podcast before. So it should be a lot of fun. So please come support the younger groups and bring your advice and all your experience. We have a lot of life experience, a lot of us older groups. So, probably be good to hear from us,
Yeah. A shout out to everyone that came and watched and posted comments. Molly, that's a lot of good suggestions for places to go. Braven, David, thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Gosh, disembodied yells from the church. I'm probably gonna mess up your name here. Spectral Smasher 1175.
And then there's Royale.
Roll. Anyway,
Royale.
everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks for participating. This is what it's all about. So we'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah. Toodles.
Spiritual awakening.